Hiya, I hope you're keeping well. Today I'm going to do a really simple, quick, everyday makeup. This is one that you asked for, Felicity, so I hope you enjoy. I've already started with some moisturiser. I went in with the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream today. My skin is so dry. And I've left that in the living room so that whether I'm doing work or watching the TV or whatever I'm doing, I remember to just top it up because it's very dry at the moment. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to go in with is the It Cosmetics CC cream. Now, I was thinking about this video and the idea of everyday makeup, and I actually put something on my YouTube recently and I didn't put it on here because the lighting was a bit dark. So I've redone the concept of it really for this. I had this idea about kind of a Marie Kondo of your makeup and skincare, so hear me out. So if you haven't seen or read Marie Kondo's book, she basically has this book, I read it years ago, called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And then she has a Netflix series and, you know, she's very kind of well known and a real believer that you should ask of everything in your house, you should ask, you know, does this bring me joy? Am I using this regularly? Do I really need it? And if not, just get rid of it. And like, the book is so good. There's even a chapter called like, it might come in handy is just a myth or something like that. And she basically just likes the idea that if you declutter, you clear your mind, you clear your space, it's positive. And I really changed how I viewed things after I read that. Like, for example, I've still got some sentimental things, absolutely, but things like concert tickets I'd be holding on to for so long, and like, you don't need the ticket to remember that you had a great night at the concert, do you know? I'm not saying I'm completely like made of stone, never keep anything sentimental, but it definitely stopped me from hoarding. And even this weekend just gone, I did a big tidy, clean, organise. It made me feel really kind of re-energised for the week ahead. And I just thought, if you're at the moment, like, let's be honest, I come on here for a makeup chat and to share makeup tips and do a tutorial and all the rest of it and have it as a bit of a, you know, distraction, a bit of playtime. But ultimately, like, the world is in absolute turmoil at the moment. There's no getting around that. If you're thinking of your makeup and skincare as something that's giving you a little boost every morning, or something that could potentially give you a little boost if you're not using it in that way at the moment, I would say go completely back to basics. I've just put my CC cream on. I'm going to go in with a Nude Sticks bronzing stick in Bondi Bay. When I picked my makeup this morning, I was thinking about this everyday makeup as per Felicity's suggestion, and I thought I'm going to go next door and pick out the things that I don't even have to think about them. I'm not looking at it thinking, which brush will I use? Did that work last time? Things that just default work for me and I know I can trust them. And that is what you should have out at the moment if you're using your makeup just for a little boost. And anything else that you know, you got a palette for Christmas and you're not sure which colours to use, you bought something on a recommendation of someone else and you're not entirely sure which brush goes with it or how best to apply it. Anything like that, for now, just put it in a box out the way. I'm not saying get rid of all your makeup and throw it all away, not at all. But for right now, keeping things really simple when, like, even the news this morning, it's really sad when you look at these things and it can really just hit you a bit hard. If you just want a nice little treat for yourself, cut out all of the noise for a few weeks. Because if your dresser just has 3 things on it that you know what to do with them and they make you feel good, you'll end up using them. Whereas upstairs, for example, I looked at my dresser and realised I had out loads of different skincare. It's so overwhelming you don't know where to begin. You don't even pick half of it up. Whereas if you've only got a few things out, you'll end up using them. So just an idea, do the Marie Kondo on your makeup and skincare if that's, you know, something that's giving you a boost. And by all means, you might not want to do that. Like for me at the moment, I'm enjoying playing with colours I might not usually play with because I'm at home and I can practice, and if I don't like it, I don't have to wear it anywhere. You know, I think your makeup can play all kinds of different parts in your routine. You might not be wearing any at the moment and this might be, you know, completely going over your head. That's fine too. but there's something to be said for things that instantly make you feel good. And, you know, don't worry about experimenting with newness when we're just looking for these quick wins day to day to have that little morale boost. So that long-winded, how long have I been going on about that for? 5 minutes. In that time, I've put my CC cream on all over. I've put a cream bronzer on and buffed it just where the sun would naturally hit. I've taken a cream blush on the apples of the cheeks. Now I'm going in with my eyebrow pencil and just going for a soft wash of colour pretty much through the natural shape of my brows. That's another thing I'd say about everyday makeup. It's really nice to just accentuate what's already there and not deviate from it too much. So for example, when I come to do my lips in a moment, I'm just going to use a liner and lipstick that aren't too dissimilar from the natural colour of my lips. And I know that might seem a bit pointless, but it just helps you to create a bit more of a polished finish, which is always quite nice. These are all things that I trust. I know they work for me, and I know I feel good when I use them. Another thing I wanted to touch on, I obviously haven't used concealer today, but I took the CC cream around my eyes the other day. Let me just double check. It was Rebecca and Anna. I was talking to you both about how to set the concealer around the eyes if you don't want to use a powder for whatever reason. I'd just take a setting spray on a smaller brush, dampen the brush and apply that way. And that way you're not using a powder in that area, but you've got the makeup lasting properties of that spray. That was a tip I picked up from Ali Martin on TikTok. She's got really great quick tips if you're on there. And I mean, the Urban Decay setting spray pretty much paved the way for all of the setting sprays, didn't it? Such a good one. Okay, I'm just double checking my stash. I've done all of my cream products. I want to use a powder illuminator. This is the Becca Champagne Pop. So before I go in with that, I'm going to seal all of my powders in place, my creams in place, just with a translucent powder, so that the powder highlighter doesn't kind of clump, or essentially if I use a powder on a dewy skin, it's going to kind of cling to it because that's dry. Whereas if I just really gently dust a little velvety wash of powder, it creates a velvety finish that I can then build on with my powder. So I absolutely love Champagne Pop. This is a limited packaging that was from a while ago, but it's exactly the same Champagne Pop as you can always get from Becca. I'm going to take this on a small brush and I'm just going to highlight the high points of the face. So I'm going in on the brow bones. I'm actually going to put the tiniest bit just through the temples. You have to be careful with doing it there if you've got textured skin. And often I can have textured skin on the forehead, but because I haven't got any texture there today, I'm going to absolutely use that space. I'm going to take a tiny bit of this right the way down the skin so you can see that glow everywhere. A little bit on the Cupid's bow, tip of the nose, and in between this brow bone is a really lovely place that the light naturally hits, and that can be really nice too. Little bit of eyelash curlers. Again, if you go in for the everyday basics, you might as well make even the simplest part of the makeup as kind of, I don't want to use the word magical. I feel like that's complete hyperbole in the context of a mascara. Just amplified, that's the word I'm looking for. I used to think curling your eyelashes was just such a faff. Wouldn't even bother. Who can be bothered with that? Really wasn't into it. I think it was like just before Christmas or something. I'm absolutely obsessed now. I just think it makes such a difference, in particular in how long your lashes look, because I think mine point outwards, Whereas when you've curled them and they're pointing upwards, you can see how long they are. I'm going in with my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. To be honest, I never used to be loyal to mascaras because I always used to wear fake lashes like every single day. I do still love fake lashes, but I used to just be absolutely mad for them. And I think that Superhero Mascara is probably one of the first ones I've ever been loyal to, because I don't get the same results as this with any other mascara. Because before I just used to think, oh, well, I'm only throwing my lashes on top of it anyway. It doesn't matter. But I really notice whenever I don't wear this one. And I always experiment with mascaras, you know. You've seen me in videos. I like to use lots of different things. The thing is with doing these videos that I always feel like I want to remind you, like my job is makeup and I've done makeup for years. So I'm only experimenting with lots of different things because it's just kind of what I do every day. Whereas I'm not saying that anyone needs to have half as much makeup as I do. In the same way that, like, if someone was talking about clothes all day, they've probably got loads of different clothes. I don't do that. So I've got a small wardrobe of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Right, going in with some lip liner. Now, the great thing about that being a similar colour to my natural lips is if I want to plump things out a bit, which I always do, it's not terribly noticeable. But look at the difference already. This is Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. And then I actually had on, before we started, a little bit of the IT Cosmetics Je ne sais quoi lip balm. I love that. I'm just going to top it up again. Those two is one of my favourite combinations. But what was I going to say about lips and natural lip colour? I had a really good point there for you, Felicity, in my head. I was thinking, oh, I must say this about everyday makeup. I can't remember now. But essentially, just to kind of recap on the whole thing, I think your best everyday makeup is something quick that you'll do, that you'll enjoy doing. Accentuate what's already there, you know, just make the most of your lips, make the most of your lashes. Do all of those small steps well and you'll feel really polished. Like, I feel like that's a polished makeup, especially because my skin was a bit red when I started. But yeah, if you're feeling a bit, you want to make that positive step for yourself, but you know, where do you begin? Cut out all of the noise. A great cleanser, a great moisturiser, that's your skincare done. Sun cream for the daytime, done. Nice few steps, even if it's one step, even if it's mascara or a lip balm or whatever it is. Cut the noise out, put a few staples on your desk and you'll end up using them rather than feeling, where am I going to begin? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed any of the suggestions of videos. Feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll work through them. I'm actually really enjoying working through these ideas that come in, because the whole point, the whole thing that I enjoy about doing these videos is that someone learns something new. So it makes sense to just do a video based on what someone wants to know rather than me guessing what you want to know, if that makes sense. But anyway, I hope you enjoy, have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon.